What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Wheels Fall Off podcast. And I'm your host, Candace, also known as Spice from SpiceLifeTv. And this is my beautiful husband and co-host, Creed.
What's up, baby?
Hey, babe.
And what up, world? This is the podcast where we discuss relationships and reentry, particularly as it pertains to incarcerated individuals and their families.
And why is that, babe?
Because I did 23 and a half years in prison for a crime I didn't commit. Throughout that whole time, he was there with me.
I did. We did that time together. We did it to the Wheels Fall Off, and we're going to continue to ride and roll till the wheels fall off, and we want y'all to roll with us. So
we rolling.
Let's go. Let's get into this episode. We're gonna start this episode with a newer segment that we like to call For Us By Us, and that is where we shout out Black businesses that we are supporting.
Yes.
And this one, I want to shout out some girls that are really doing the thing right now. And they brought me on their platform. It was an honor for them to bring me on their platform, and they are doing some wonderful things. I would like to share with y'all today is the Prison Wives Society. They are a lovely group, two women that started this group. But they are a lovely group of ladies that are really just doing the work of supporting wives of prisoners. And I wanted to read a little bit about their organization. And it was started, they're both Shantays. The two Shantays are doing the Prison Wives, but it was started by Shante Richardson. And she's the founder of the Prison Wives Society. And it was founded to provide support for women with incarcerated partners. She is committed to addressing the issue of recidivism rates in the criminal justice system. Throughout her platform, Richardson is focusing on initiatives aimed at rehabilitation, reintegration, and providing employment opportunities for individuals post-incarceration. Her efforts involve advocacy, awareness campaigns, and partnerships with organizations that specialize in criminal justice reform and prison reentry programs. I mean, that is exactly what we're into too. So when she reached out to me about 2 weeks ago, they had me on their show as the retired prison wife, just to kind of give my side of how things have gone on since Babe came home. And it was such a lovely time. When I've always said, like, I never had that when I was going through prison with you. I didn't have like this support system or this group of women that I could lean on. And also at the time that was kind of taboo. You didn't really do that back then, at least how we were doing prison.
Right.
So to see these women that are rallying around each other and they're building community, they're really working at trying to alleviate or reduce some of the barriers that the inmates are facing and also their families are facing. And I just think that they're doing such an amazing job.
Yeah, that's dope.
It's so dope. I told them whatever they need from me, I am there. And I even volunteered you. I was like, if they want to talk to someone who's out and so they can prepare their husbands on the way out, like, let's get them. Because I just think it's great that they're attacking it while they're inside, because we've said that from the beginning. Like, it starts while you're in. And those women are doing the thing. It's a nonprofit. They are any donations or money that goes to that, they are selling the t-shirts, and their t-shirt profits go towards all the things that they're working on in their nonprofit, and it's going directly to the families that they're helping. So the Prison Wives Society is what's up. So if y'all could give them a follow on Instagram, let them know Spice sent you, and just give them some love. And if you have any family that you know is going through that, especially if you have a lady that has a partner that's incarcerated, please connect her to them, because I think that they could be a support for her. I know it would have been a help for me, and I just commend them for taking the stand and doing that.
So dope. I mean, honestly, it takes a God-sent type of person to be able to do this work, number one, and then to do it voluntarily. I don't care if you're in love with the person or not. It's still, you can make a decision to walk away from this life.
Well, and to do the work while you're supporting the person. That was a lot for me. Remember, I would be like, I gotta do one thing at a time. Yeah. So for them to be able to do all of it, it just shows how committed they are, how driven they are. And I know that these men have to be some special men to be able to maintain these special women. So I'm excited for all of them, and I just wish them the best. And like I said, we are here. So if you need us, what we can do, you just let us know.
Shante and Shante?
The two Shantays.
Shante and Shante, I would like to personally, Creed would like to personally give you a round of applause for everything that you do. That's dope.
We
That's
do. We love it.
You deserve that, and thank you.
Congratulations, ladies.
From the bottom of my heart, thank you for that, because men who are incarcerated, they need that, and sometimes they don't know they need it to the degree that they do. But when you're like Babe did, when you do it and you do it well, and you do it with the intent to make sure that everything about that man's situation and y'all situation is easier.
Yeah.
Because you have to do the bulk of the work because he's incarcerated, and I just really commend you for doing that, and I thank you, honestly. It's dope.
Good job, ladies.
Yeah, good job.
All right, so the next segment today is going to be our ice quiz. And the question today is, would we be together if you didn't go to prison?
No.
Oh, really?
No.
Why?
I mean, because I was a different person then. So were you, right? Mm-hmm. And so even though we loved each other back then, I don't think that the type of person I was built for the serious relationship that was required. If that makes sense, you know.
So you don't think we would have been together at all? Like we never would have got together?
Oh, we definitely would have got together. I don't know if we'd have stayed together. I'm sorry if I answered that wrong, but I meant stay together. And it's not, and it wasn't like, even when I was younger, it wasn't like a cheating thing or anything like that. It was just it was a very, I was the only person I had to take care of. And I think that I think a lot of my ways displayed that. Like, it's just me. It's only just me, you know? And being a young dude and being in the streets and all that stuff, it's like, it's a relationship on a daily basis is not something that I probably would have sustained me back then. And I definitely don't think that I would have been able to sustain you, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think we would have definitely started off like we did, and we would have started off together. I don't think we would have stayed together, though. I think, like, kind of like you said, I think that I was so church and so Christian. You know, them girls that they do want that kind of bad side, though. I was interested in it. I think that where he was, where you were, and how you were living your life at the time, it would have been too much for me. Like, it would have been, if you were just kind of dabbling in that life, maybe, but you were in the life, and I don't think I could have handled that. I just was too, that was just not what my life was set up to be. That's not how I was raised. That was not what was told. That was not what the plan was at all, to be with someone who was in the streets. That just wasn't the case. I think we would have been together until it got to a point where it was like kind of a crossroads, where probably me having to go to school and you not going to school, or me kind of going this way and you going that way, and we just
The thing is, back then, I would have loved to say, we're soulmates. Of course we would have been together. And if I'm keeping it funky, the truth of the matter is that way back then, I think that no matter what happened, we would have definitely got together. I'm troubled to figure out if we would have remained friends if we broke up. That's the only thing, because I'm already convinced that we probably would not have stayed together. We got together back then. I never went to prison. But would we have broken up and remained the friends that we were before we got together?
That's a good question, because a lot of our connection was because our parents were connected at the time, because I was, pretty young. So we would see each other when our parents would see each other. So when that relationship fell apart, I think me and you would have stayed cool, and we'd have probably always been cool. Like, I think that I could probably, like, know that you could call me or I could call you, and we'd probably touch base, and it'd be like when you see each other, like, hey, what's up? I think we would always have had that. But here's the other thing. I think that two scenarios could have happened. We went our separate ways when I got to 18, 19 and started to figure out what I was going to do with my life. Or you cracked me and totally turned me out before I was ready to, and I have your baby, and now my whole life is different. Yeah. And I become who you thought you was going to have a baby with in the first place. I don't think that would have been the case. I think that we would have had a very we would have been like this at first, because my ideals of how I want to bring up my baby are going to be opposite of yours. 100%. But I think over time, as you matured, we would have came to a better place.
Yeah.
But I don't. So if we ended up having a baby, of course we'd be connected forever. But if we didn't have a baby, I still think we would have been connected forever, just not in that way.
Yeah. Yeah, you're probably right. You're probably right. The baby thing that would have been crazy because, yeah, that was my mentality back in the day in terms of me wanting to have a kid and not really concerned about being with the mom or anything like that. But I even knew back then I didn't want to do that to you.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like that would have been that wasn't an option. It would have been a struggle.
God, and then too, like now thinking about the families, like thinking about your family and how back then you still had a connection with them. Mm-hmm. I would not have stuck around for that bull.
Well, you wouldn't have had to because that would never change.
But if we had a baby,
okay,
and so I'm dealing with family and you and this baby, and I'm still having to deal with them, like that would have just been.
Yeah, I mean, ooh.
Yeah, because you would have still you probably would have. I mean, at least longer. You'd have been dealing with them for longer, and I couldn't do that.
Yeah, that bullshit and having them feel like they have rights to
and being messy and the whole baby thing and it just always being something. Like it would just always be something that I'd be like, I can't. No.
The difference is they wouldn't have been able to use our kid to hold over your head to get you
right because I didn't need nobody watching my baby.
You didn't need nothing.
I would have had my baby taken care of and I had my own family. That's what I think some people forget is I had my own family. So yeah, that I don't know. I don't think we would have necessarily. I think here's what I also think. We would have been together, separated, and later came back to each other.
I mean, it's possible. You've told me that before. It's possible. Before I was like, nah. But, I mean, who knows? The only reason I don't be thinking that is because there was this, like, you know how I am. Like, when I got wop.
Really?
Yeah. You know that. What you
even now?
For? You know that.
Now you're just older.
But we're talking about what it would have been.
Oh, okay.
How it would have been then. So, yeah, I wouldn't have.
Oh, yeah. No, you're right. Back then, you probably wouldn't have.
Not at all.
Well, now we know.
You
stuck with me now. So, deal with it.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
You don't scratch your head.
I would think this. I don't scratch it, but this hair has grown.
Oh, Catherine needs to see it because she don't believe it. Catherine thinks she bald in the middle.
Okay, the only reason I don't take it off because I ain't got no brush to brush it because it looks tore up. But I am not bald in the middle. Either. Yeah, it ain't lined up.
I will admit, I will vouch there is a bunch of hair on his head.
And it's going to be a bitch getting it off. And it went too long.
It went too long. I was rubbing it the other day. I was like, so what are we doing here? What's happening? What's going on?
That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. This is how tired I'm because I missed the whole day. I thought today was tomorrow when I woke up this morning.
We already said that on the last episode. We're shooting 2 in the same day, so he's saying the same thing.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is that's how tired I am because I shave my head in the shower and I just been wanting to get in the shower, wash my ass and get out. I'm like, no, I'm not. So I haven't been doing it and the days didn't caught up with me. Now it's been 6 days since I cut it.
Well, tomorrow we're going to the regatta gala. So he's going to have to get himself together because we got a regatta gala. It's just a gala, but who knows where the regatta gala is from? If you know what that line is from, put it in the comments.
They don't know.
They know.
I don't know if they know.
The regatta gala. It's a regatta gala. Anyway, so we got to do that tomorrow, which I'm super excited about because I get to get all dressed up. I had to go and find out what the attire was and see what I had in my closet. If you don't know about me, is I've been shopping for years to be going on date nights, right? Because I couldn't. And I have all kind of date night dresses that have come in handy for these last minute regatta galas. Because we found out, Wednesday we were going to go. And I was like, let me check my closet.
Did you figure out which dress you got?
I got 3 I'm going to go between. So we'll figure out the day out. But yeah, you're going to have to get all this together by then because you're going to be stepping out with your girl.
I'm just going to braid it.
Could you imagine?
I'm going to braid it tonight.
Someone will be there with a braided beard.
100%.
Somebody will be there at this regatta gala with a braided beard.
100%.
We're going for UBB, the University Behind Bars.
Yes. And it's a fundraiser for that event, which we discussed in the previous podcast about how guys are taking real college courses in prison through this program. And so a friend of mine is actually director of UBB, and he's putting this together, and he invited us to be his guests. And so I'm looking forward to not only seeing my boy, but also kind of like taking my lady out and enjoying the night.
Well, and I mean, I always love to get dressed up, but it's also going to be fun seeing like even our friends, some of our people dressed up, because we've never seen them.
Yeah,
we've only
true.
seen them, a lot of people, I've only seen in prison clothes.
Yeah.
So to see people out and then out like looking real good, like that's going to be fun.
Yeah.
And people we probably haven't seen in years.
Yeah. You only seen them dressed up at a significant other event.
Right. Behind bars. And that just meant you put on an overly big size white button-up shirt that they sent in.
Yeah.
So it'll be fun. Actually, we didn't even say, but we're going to call that our highlight and heartbreak section or segment.
Yeah.
And that is our highlight.
Going to the Regatta Gala?
We're going to the Regatta Gala. I'm
People
excited
look at
about
them
it.
and like, we're calling them a Regatta Gala.
Because if you know, you know. If you don't know, you should know. It's just something we know. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Me too. I can't wait.
All right, well, let's get into this episode.
Let's do it.
So it kind of goes in with our Ice Girls question. And the question is, did we ever break up? If so, why?
Well, the short answer is no, we did not break up.
No, we have never broken up.
We have never broken up.
We've been close.
We have gotten close. There was...
Circa 2011, December 2011, when it kind of came to its head.
Yeah, it was, and the thing is, it came to its head because it was literally like
2 years
a couple years of like, it was really hard. It was hard. I was making it hard on us in terms of my headspace. You know, I was really, really miserable during that time, especially doing it under the circumstances I was doing it, as far as being innocent. And at that point, I had been locked up 12, 13 years, and it was no end in sight. It was like I'm far from the beginning, but I'm still far from the end too, and it was getting to me. And so a lot of times I took it out on my baby in terms of not communicating, in terms of getting upset about stuff. It was just, I was a miserable cat. And you got to the point where you was just like, this is hard enough, you know, and then I'm making it harder, you know what I'm saying, being a miserable cat all the time. And so, and the thing is, I knew it, but as coming from my background, I mean, you know, you don't have therapists, you got liquor stores and weed, you know, and so I don't know how to deal with those type of issues. Had you not shown me the tough love that you did in terms of saying, like, we got to figure something out because I can't do it like this anymore because I love you so much. It was like, okay, I have to figure it out. I don't care. Not having that type of mental health around me is not an excuse anymore. I have to figure it out. And so we eventually did. But let the world know how you felt throughout that process.
Well, like you said, it was like a 2-year process of him just becoming more and more miserable. I think we had just kind of sunk into the time. It was like right in the middle of the amount of time, like year 12? And we just weren't getting any real action or any positive progress with him coming home. Like we didn't have anything that was like working in our favor. And I think we had come off of a few denials from appeals, and it just was very just a very low time. And so of course, you know, I'm with him, so I'm trying to just do what I can do for him. And before, what used to be enough wasn't enough, so I would try to do more, and then that would help a little bit, and then I would try to do more. And it's so hard to do more when you have like not a lot to do more with. But one of the main reasons we mentioned this before, but one of the main reasons why I looked so hard for his cousin was because I felt like, not that I was losing you because I thought you were going to leave me. I felt like I was losing you because I just could not make you happy. I couldn't fix the void or the problem. And so it was like, I need somebody else to help him, like help him see that there is good left here and that there is a reason to keep fighting and to move forward. So T was really kind of my like, help me. That was, and I didn't come to her like that, but that was what I felt she was going to bring to us, was like, maybe she can just give him something else to make him happy for a little while, because it's not me. And I just remember working so hard at trying to get her here and helping with getting her ticket. I think she ended up buying her ticket, or I helped pay for some of the ticket. Something we were both working,
coordinating
at trying to get you here. Like that was the whole thing. And at that time, it was a very different financial state. I was in a whole different financial bracket. So it was just a harder time. And so when she came, and I was so excited, thinking like, he's going to be so excited and he's going to be so happy. And he still wasn't. He still was not happy. He was still, while she was there, still just mad at me for stuff that was like, what? And it just was like, I can't do anything to make this man happy. And I'm killing myself. And it's now making me not even enjoy the little bits of life I was enjoying. Like I wasn't having fun. I was not enjoying like engaging with you, talking to you. The phone was becoming like, that was when I started hating talking on the phone, because it just was 20 minutes of you just being mad, or you not talking, or you giving me attitude, and I'm trying to like figure out what I can do. It was a lot.
It was a hard time.
It was a very
it's a lot if that goes on in any relationship, but particularly incarcerated relationship, that's too much.
And I'm very much a Leo, and that I am loyal to a fault. I will be loyal to you until you literally burn me down. And for one, Cree was never somebody that I thought was just here one day, gone tomorrow. Like he always was gonna be somebody to me. But it was and for somebody who is normally pretty good at like figuring out how to problem solve, or figuring out how to help people with their problems and making them happy and feeling content. And for me to not be able to do that for my own man was just like, then why am I doing this then? If we're both in this miserable, I don't need to be miserable in this with you. If you're not even appreciating me being miserable in this with you. And I was legitimately I was so beaten down. Like I was just really like, I don't want to do this anymore. And I was going with the girls. We were going to Butch Fest, and we were in the car, and you had just got off the phone. This is when you used to be not cool when I would be with my family or doing something fun, and you bring down the mood for that. And so it was kind of happening then, and I was like, no, we're gonna be at, no, I'll talk to you. I'm trying to still reassure you, but my stomach was just on fire. And I remember hanging up the phone with you, and they're all doing their thing, talking and stuff, and I'm just looking out the back window, like bawling hysterically quietly, though, because I don't want them to hear me. But of course they hear me because we're in this little car. And I just blurted out, I was like, I can't be with him anymore. I'm gonna have to leave him. And that, I said it, and I'm like bawling, because I just couldn't imagine. I never thought I would get to that point. And it was when I knew, like, I hate this for me, but I know I have to leave him because he's gonna ruin me. That was a very, very sad time for me. And I remember talking to you about it, and finally, because I'd gotten mad a few times and been like, I'm not doing this anymore, and just fed up, and we'd fight. But then we'd be, a couple of days, we'd be back kind of doing the same routine. Never really get resolved, never really get fixed, but just we're going through the motions. And I remember telling you, like, I cannot do this with you anymore. And I remember you breaking down because I was telling you, like, I can't do it anymore. And you were just like, you can't leave. And I was like, I can't stay. Like, both of us were just like at this crossroads because I didn't want to leave him. That wasn't what I wanted. But you were just impossible.
I was impossible, and it pains me to know that I was a catalyst for you getting beat down. Because, I always tell you, like, this is supposed to be a safe place. The world's going to try to beat you down. you know, and your man is supposed to be where you come get filled up, where you come get nourished, or get re-energized, and I was giving you none of that. And it kills me to know that I was playing that role, because I'm in the joint watching other cats do that to their women. Only difference was, not to make it better, only difference was they were doing it on purpose, knowingly, and I honestly didn't know, but I apologize again.
Oh, I know.
I know you know that, but I'm just telling you, because that's not something that you ever forget, you know? It's not, I've never forgotten that whole situation. I remember days where, I think I told you before, like, I was getting ready to go lift weights, and I'm sitting in my cell, and I'm getting dressed and everything, and I'm sitting, like, this is a cell, so, like, literally the wall is this probably about 3 to 4 feet away at the most. I'm sitting on my bunk, and my shoes is right there against the wall, and I could not put them on. I didn't know what that was. Come to find out, it most likely was a touch of depression.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying that to say is that misery was on me, and what I did not know how to do back then was communicate to you, like, I feel weird, and I don't know what it is. I don't know what to do.
And I didn't know that either. Like, I didn't know that it was depression that he was going through and that I was going through. I didn't know that what anxiety was. I didn't know what those terms were really yet. And I didn't know what they really looked like to be able to identify them, because while he was going through his misery stage, I was just in a very low, depressed, very low. I was just low. It was like a culmination of things, like between just kind of the stuff that happened with my family in 2008. That was like a big issue for me. It was like I had felt like I had been violated by a family member's boyfriend, and my family just didn't really do anything about it. I just felt like I was left alone. And for that happened in 2008, but over those years, the way the family acted with me, and me feeling uncomfortable and feeling unsafe with these people that I'm supposed to be feeling safe with, and then not having that with him, where I could, like, he was on my side with that issue, but anything else in my life, you weren't. You were just piling on too. And so I also had a dad that was doing his thing and making sure he made sure to make our lives just difficult. And that was happening still at that time too. I lost my condo. I was going through a foreclosure. My first condo, I bought it, and now the economy was crashing. I was in a bad loan. It was a predatory loan, and I got foreclosed on, and I was dealing with that depression and failure from all of that. Like, there was just so much going on. I was at a very low place and still trying to uphold this man who was literally doing everything he could to just jump up, pound on us down, because he was feeling so bad. I couldn't handle it. I just felt like I couldn't handle it. I just could not handle it. And you were the last thing I wanted to get rid of, but I knew you were the first thing I had to get rid of, because it was like prison was consuming so much, and it was taking up so much that I couldn't even do anything else. And then it was like, well, he doesn't even appreciate it. I don't even think he likes me. I don't think he wants me here. Why am I doing this? And that was what led us to being, we had like a 30-day break, kind of, where I said to him, because, you know, he had realized, like, I had got to that point where I was like, I don't care what you're saying. I don't want to hear it no more. I'm done. And then he now is saying everything I needed him to say 2 years ago. Now all of a sudden he gets it. Now all of a sudden he's telling me what I needed him to hear. He's love bombing me. He's telling me I'm going to do this and I'm going to do all that. And I'm just like, first of all, you, because I've been going through hell with you for 2 years, and now you want to do it. It made me mad. It did not make me endeared to him. It did not make me want to come running back to him. It wanted me to say a big you, because that means you could have been doing this all this time, and you just choosing not to.
That's what it feels like.
That's what it felt like.
Yeah. I mean, and it wasn't that, but it definitely comes across like that, because, you know, you hear it all the time, you know, when your well runs dry, Boys and Men song, you don't know what you got till it's gone, that type of thing. And so what ended up happening is I had to change my focus. My focus at those 2 years where I was miserable was the fact that I was incarcerated, the fact that I was away from life, and life was just passing by, and I'm sitting up in this motherfucking grungy ass cell for something I ain't do, right? So that was eating at me, and that was my focus. It doesn't matter what you're in prison for, though. If you are in a relationship, your focus has to be your relationship, has to be your priority. That wasn't mine. So then when that happened between us, I had to get my focus, man. I had to get my focus. And so when I got my focus, it even felt weird to me to be saying the things that I'm just like, damn, like you're late. You know? It felt weird to me too, but at the same time I wasn't going to let any opportunity I had to speak to you to go by again and not tell you exactly how I felt about you. And during those times, I was just always focused on all the negative shit going on. And I had a lot of positivity in you, and I was not paying attention to it. So, just people out there, when we talk about this stuff, I'm telling you, there's real life experience here in terms of, I don't never want to come across like I've always been correct or right or anything like that. Like I had some growing pains to go through. And mind you, there was nobody there to guide me or lead me in that young man realm. There was nobody to give me no type of advice. Hey, in the streets and on the yard, I'm the one giving the advice. But at the same time, I'm still a young man at the time. And somebody needs to kind of let me know or check me and put me in my place about stuff that I'm doing. And there was nobody to do that. So then I had to almost lose everything in order to get that quote unquote check-in. You know what I'm saying? So that's how that happened. But yeah, I'll always regret that. That's just like I have to learn to live with that regret.
It definitely brings up like that. I still get that warm in my stomach when I think about that time, because just not even just with us, it just was not a good time.
Yeah. Like
from 2008 to probably 2016, I think were probably the worst years of my life. And it was crazy because my mom died in 2002, and you would think that would have been where it started. It's definitely started then, but it was also like I basically lost the family again in 2008. I felt like that was the beginning of just my life being completely turned upside down again and feeling so abandoned and alone. It's just like, here we go one more time.
Yeah.
And then it continued to happen. And when you have people in your life that you're like, I was still looking as them as my family, like people I would go to for everything. And when they're just not even caring that you're uncomfortable or caring that you're miserable or caring that you're depressed, and they can see it, at least it seemed like you could see it. I don't know how you couldn't, but then you just ignore it because that means we have to do something. It was just a low time.
Yeah.
I was a low time for me. So it definitely still kind of stings to think about those days. And to think about that, what if we didn't end up being together, or if I left you in that situation? I think that would have always been something that would have been hard for me. Even if you deserved it, just leaving you there would have been really hard for me to do.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that you didn't, even though I probably at the time deserved for that to happen. I don't know if you remember this. We didn't quite make it the 30 days, but that we were, because you went to the Bush Fest, I believe, and I was only I called you probably I called you every day.
You did, but
we talked every day.
No, we didn't talk every day. You called me every day, and I told you I would only talk to you when I felt like it. That was kind of my punishment to him. Was like, I'm not picking up this phone every time.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, because you would call. Normally, he had me basically trained. The phone would ring, one ring, and I'm picking up the phone.
That's right.
I'm damn near Pavlov's dog when it comes to that phone.
So, yeah, that's right.
And I was like, no, you are trying to, I guess you're trying to make me feel like you really want me here. And me answering the phone all the time does not make me feel like that. I'm doing my life, and now you're going to fit into it. And that was really when I started changing how I started doing time with you. Because it was before that was everything he needed was always the first priority. I would go without for him. I would lose for him. I would do nothing for him. I would have to be up early and late for him. Everything was about him. That stopped. It was like, no, I'm working my ass off from Monday through Saturday or Friday, sometimes Saturday. I'm having to be up at 4 a.m. to be at work in Seattle by 6 a.m. to do that Monday through Friday. And then I get my tail up at 7 a.m. to drive 2 hours to see you to be mean to me? I'm not answering that phone. You answer. I talk to you when I feel like talking to you.
Yeah, you're right. That did happen because I now I remember when we did talk, it really wasn't much to say, because it was like,
I was trying to see if I could live without you. Because in my mind, I had already gotten to that point where I was like, I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore. So I had to see, since I had already got there, and then now you come with all this like, no, baby, 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 baby. And I'm like, no, I'm not just about to be a sucker, and you ain't gonna be just turning me back around, and I haven't even got to like, you know. So it was more of me seeing, can I live without this man? Can I go 30 days and just move on? Like, because I was already trying to do that because I felt like I couldn't do that you anymore. It didn't work.
No.
It probably lasted like 2 weeks, and it was like, my best friend. I need my friend back.
Well, here's the thing. I don't know if you remember, but I will always remember. You said to yourself, I guess you had said this alone, I'm going to go see him. And if I don't feel a tug or something when I see him, then I know it's over.
I remember that.
Yeah.
And that was after not seeing him for like 2 or 3 weeks. I felt like if I can go in this visiting room and I just see him and I feel like I feel now, I knew it would be done. If I saw him and it would be what it normally is, which it did, and here we are.
It did. Yeah.
I was kind of glad though, like when I hugged him, that I was like, it just was like this, like, oh God, I missed him. I wanted to miss you, but I didn't want to miss you. You know what I mean?
I feel you. I 100% feel you. But I mean, I have that effect on you. In terms of walking in the room,
okay,
hugging you,
relax.
You're through. Then you can tell me to relax if you want to. I walk in the room.
I'm gonna need
I
you
walk
to
in the
relax.
room and I hug you. It's over for you.
You're very.
But
confident.
at the same time, that wasn't my thought process then, because you didn't tell me till later that's what you had came up with. But I remember walking in and seeing you, and I was like, damn, she pretty.
Oh, I knew.
I've been tripping.
I knew I was gonna be pretty when you saw me. That was one thing you knew for sure.
I knew that you was gonna get pretty when I saw you. I knew what the fuck you was doing. But I said,
I know you can't turn this face down.
I said, I'm tripping.
Yeah.
And I already felt bad. I felt the worst then at that moment. And yeah, that's where it goes every time I think about that time period. But yeah, and even though that time went by where we weren't really talking every day and whatnot, like we were still together. We just wasn't communicating. And honestly, what it showed me at that time was I wasn't talking to you very often, and then I was probably talking to you the same amount then as I was when you were around, because I wasn't communicating. That makes sense. I just wasn't. And I felt like a damn dog donkey the other day. I really did. Yeah, that was bad. But yeah, and gentlemen,
Go ahead.
And gentlemen, if you're fortunate enough to hear this conversation, those incarcerated cats I'm talking about, if you're fortunate enough to be able to tune into this, like, please understand that I get what prison does. I get the face we got to put on every day with the individuals that we're incarcerated with, both incarcerated individuals and COs and administrators. I get all that, but I also know what be happening internally, especially when you missing somebody or you feel like your life is passing you by, and it can bring you down. It can bring you down real low, and what you need to remember is that hurt people, and so just try to make sure that you do not take that misery out on the person that loves you, especially the person that is supporting you. You are doing a detriment to not only your relationship, but your survival in that situation. I mean, it is as simple as that, and you will forever regret it.
And ladies, I know what it's like to love somebody who is incarcerated and you want the best for them. And I also know what it's like to feel like sometimes you have to fill in the gap. And that is your job as a woman, as your man's woman. Of course, you do that. But it's also very important that through this process, you're making sure that you're being taken care of too, because you are doing the bulk of the work. And they have to respect that and also nourish that in order for that to continue. You can't suck something dry and then not put anything back in it and then expect that they're going to keep being able to fulfill you. It's just not fair to do. And what that ends up doing is, now that since you're not putting back in, now I'm taking from my reserve for me that I have, that's just mine. So I'm now giving you all that I have to give you for you already, and then now you're taking more. And that's just not fair. And it's up to us to like help them see that, but then also you got to put that boundary there and really stick with that, because it might feel like, and he might help make it feel like you're putting him second because he's the way he's framing it or how he's feeling. But honestly, you cannot do this life with doing someone in prison if you're not putting yourself, like, you can't put yourself first, because if you were putting yourself first, you're not going to be doing prison. But within prison, you have to put yourself first. Like, it has to be, okay, we're doing prison, but here I am. And then here comes you because I'm taking care of you. It has to be that. And he has to do that because you are doing it. Like, it's a lot. And yes, he's doing the time. And I'm not saying this to be callous, but he's going to do that whether you're there or not. So you being there is a perk. It's a blessing. It's a privilege. It's an honor for both who are in this relationship together. But that has to be reciprocated and shown on both sides. It has to be shown on both sides.
Yeah, well said. And another thing, ladies, is that what I respected about the situation, because a lot of cats would be like, oh, like, you know, especially in this prison situation, you know what I'm saying? Oh, you know, you let that happen, and, you know, this, that, and the third. Let me tell you something. If I'm proud to be with a woman that had value in herself enough to say, enough. And there's a lot of people, it's viewed that there's a lot of prison wives who don't have that backbone to do that and don't feel that way about themselves. There's a stigma saying that they feel like, you know, a lot of you guys are, you know, weak or can't get nobody else.
Take just what you get.
And yeah, you have to take what's being shelled out by these cats and whatnot. And I'm just saying, like, I respected that. She had a mind of her own, and she had enough value in herself to do that. And any man that loves you will also respect that in the end. It's going to hurt, especially if it's been going on and you guys are really in love and you just never foresaw this coming. It's going to hurt. But if he's a man, he's going to respect the fact that even in a marriage or a long-term relationship or whatever you guys may have, that your woman can set boundaries.
Right.
Because we have boundaries, and we expect her to respect them all the time. I had boundaries on top of boundaries. Did I not? And so when your woman displays a set of boundaries on her own, you respect it and you love her for it. Real deal.
Y'all, I'm over here looking like King Thug because I have something going on up here for this regatta gala we're going tomorrow. And I didn't want to undo it for the show because I needed to be ready for the regatta gala. So, y'all like my beanie?
That is not what's happening. That's not what's happening. You wanted to wear a blue hat because I got a blue hat on. You wanted to wear a black shirt because I got a black shirt on.
Your little blue hat.
You know what I'm saying? You just want to be like your boy, which is fine.
Whatever.
It's fine because you are, but it's just at the end of the day, don't be talking about I got something going on up under here.
I do, and if y'all want to see, Miss Seeley is up under here. Looking like Miss Seeley under there.
No, that just came in my head. That just came in my head with that white nightgown on.
You and I were never apart. Here's the other thing. Like, I didn't really know what was going on with him. I didn't know that. I knew he was miserable. I didn't know, like I said, that a lot of it was connected to depression. And I don't think you can be in prison and not have some level of depression. I just don't. You have to be some guy. You have to be gangster. And literally him only. Yeah. Like, that's the only person I know that I think has never been depressed in prison or a day in his life. But there's not a whole lot of resources for that. And so one thing I remember talking to him about was, like, you know, when I started doing therapy, I would try to bring the skills or the lessons or the things they were teaching me to him just to see if that would work. Not all the time, but like now there's so many more things. Like, they have stuff on their JPay players now. I think that they can get different podcasts. I'm hoping that they open up like telehealth and let people start having actual therapy appointments. That would be awesome. But you can send books in, video clips. I would send little clips of stuff, or like print off articles and just things that would hopefully get him into thinking about what was going on in that different headspace. It's really hard to do, but just trying to get his mind out of it became the priority.
Yeah.
And then also just really leaning into my own mental health and making sure that I kind of got myself back on track, because I was really off track. When I went and got in therapy, which was about that time, the therapist told me, she was like, she did an assessment test for something, like to see kind of where I was at. And she said, we went through our whole session. She was asking me questions. I was telling her things. And she was like, I've been asking these questions because I'm so baffled because of where you scored and then how you present. They don't match. She said, your score leaves me, typically when I see someone with that score, they're in a corner in a fetal position, rocking themselves, can't talk, very catatonic state. For your score to be that high and for you to be able to present so well and to function so well, she was like, you have an immense internal strength that you have no idea about. I'll never forget her telling me that, because it kind of like empowered me. I felt like I am strong. I must be strong. I'm going through all of this and she's noticing I'm strong. Mm-hmm. And I'm still able to function, even though I wasn't necessarily doing a great job at it. But it was a little bit of just a spark for her to say that was like, I'm not weak. It's as weak as I feel. I can do this. I've been doing it. I'm losing everything. My life is literally crumbling, but I'm making it.
You literally can apply that to other areas, other aspects of your life, even to this day. Mm-hmm. And you're definitely one of the strongest, if not the strongest person I know.
Well, thank you, babe.
And so...
I think that about you. I've said that to you many times.
You have. It takes incredible strength, not just to ride with somebody. I stress this all the time. Not just to ride with somebody, but to ride in the manner in which you did. You know? Mm-hmm. There was a lot of integrity in the way you did it.
Thank you.
There was a lot of, like you said, putting yourself second. You didn't have to do that, but you did. Literally I talk to you every single day down there on my time, down there, and I should have been saying thank you at the end of every phone call.
Yeah, but you're in it then, and it's hard to see the other side when you're in it.
Yeah,
and I knew you'd get here one day.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I hope that all of them do. I think I knew you would get here one day. Like I knew you would see it once you could see the other side. You could be like, oh man. And even now when I see how, like when your friends call or they ask you to do something, or you see what it takes sometimes to be there for somebody on just a very minimal scale, and how long it sometimes takes you to show up. Mm-hmm. And I'll be looking at you and watching you and be like, see, he don't even realize he never had to wait. Mm-hmm. He never had to wait for anything. Like I almost broke myself to make sure you were good, and I would do it again because that's just how I love. Like I do love that way. But I will say I do see now where there should have been more balance earlier on. Mm-hmm. And I love that there's groups like the Prison Wife Society who are teaching these women that. They're teaching them like, no, you are still a part. You're a part of this, and you're probably the most important part of this. And you have to take care of you so you can take care of this man. Mm-hmm. I didn't get that lesson. And I think that what they're doing is so amazing because they're pouring into these women so that they can pour into their men and also learn how to pour into themselves. And I think that's amazing. I love that.
Dope. Yeah.
And I'm here at my big age just learning how to do that myself now after, doing all that time with you. And I've even told you, like, you say that, people say that. Even just the other day, your friend was like, you need a carbon copy of her. She does it. Nobody can do it like her. Mm-hmm. And I know that it's meant as a compliment. But it doesn't feel like a compliment a lot of times because I know what it took for me to do it. And I know what I'm still trying to replace and regain and repair from doing it. And it's so when I hear, I know what they mean, and I take that from that. But it's like
It's hard to wear that as a badge of honor.
I don't want to have done that this good.
Yeah.
Like, it's not me doing that this good has left me at a deficit, and that is what I don't want for other women to have to go through. I love that they think so highly of me. I mean, the way that they speak to me and about me and to you about me, and like even when Sneak is talking to me about what someone else told them, like, I talked to sis and da da da. Like, I love that they hold me in such high regard. I love that so many of them know, like, that one, she's a real one and she's got us. That used to be kind of a badge of honor for me, is because I knew that they knew I had them, and it was like important for me to be the one that they knew, that you knew, and everybody in there knew, like, no, Munch's girl rocks for him. She holds it down. But holding it down came at a cost.
Yeah.
And that is just, yeah.
So is the thing that you want to convey to the women who are in this situation is to get balance as soon as possible?
As soon as possible. And it's going to be hard to do because you don't know what you're coming into, and there's no one that can prepare you for it because everybody's situation is the same. It is going to be overwhelming, and you're going to just be trying to figure it out. But my goal is that, along with like ladies with like the Prison Wife Society, is that there's so much information out there that you do have a better idea of what's going on. You have women being like, first visit, they are going to be assholes. This is what's going to happen. You're going to go in there. They're going to try to pat you down. This woman's going to make you shake your titties out. Then you're going to have to lift your tongue up. If she's the short-haired one, she's probably going to have to make you move. But, you know, like, I would love for it to be that, where we can just break it down like that for people. You can't do that. It's too many prisons, too many states, too many people. But if more of us are talking about it and saying, like, we wish we had done this better, or like the prison wives are saying, like, this is how you do this better, I think that is where I can make a difference. And that's where I can help. If you are going to do this, if you are deciding to go down this route, I can give you advice on how I would have done it differently and how I did it well. You know, because I not to toot my own horn, because I'm really not trying to toot my own horn here, but I can't say there is anybody that could have done that time better than I did it with you.
I agree.
So I can speak from that, is what I'm saying. I think I can offer that expertise, but also do it this way instead. Kind of.
Yeah. Like, so, I mean, you're also saying, like, people come across like Candace did that shit flawlessly. You know what I'm saying? And you're letting them know, like, no, because there was a lot of personal stuff that people didn't see. Exactly. That affected me more than all this shit. Right. You know? And so to the ladies out there who understand that situation, who's in it and understand where we're coming from, balance is key. And I think it would do your man a service, you a service, and your relationship as a whole a service if you have that. I'm telling you. Because I'm going to tell you right now, like, nothing makes a man grow up faster than when he don't get what he want all the time. You know what I'm saying? He gonna continue to act, I don't want to say like a kid, but he just not going to act his fucking age when he gets what he wants all the time. And so that confrontation, that boundary needs to be set. It needs to happen, and I'm glad it did.
Well, I also think that our dynamic kind of started off like that, because, you know, he's 4 years older than me, and back in the day, everything he said, it was gospel. I didn't argue. I didn't say yay, nay. I was just like, just so excited. And so I was still learning my voice, period. Like, I hadn't developed my voice. So I really didn't have one with him. He's my first real like relationship, and he's older, and I'm not really knowing, like, okay, is that stupid? Can I say that? Is this allowed? Or am I supposed to do that? What kind of girl am I supposed to, like, I'm not knowing how to do all that. Then right after we get together, he goes to jail. So then it's like, well, now how do we do this? Because I don't even know how to do this part. I'm just kind of following his lead because I don't know what I'm doing. And so it just it was me following his lead. And then before I knew, I'm just in this on this hamster wheel that he got me on. And I'm like, wait a minute, this is not fun for nobody but you. So it's kind of just, if you knew what you knew, you know, I didn't know. So now we know.
Y'all listening?
hopefully they're listening.
It'll save your life. It'll save your relationship. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you have a woman here who, I mean, we're as happy as we've ever been in life, right? But at the same time, she's telling you, like, she came out of it at a deficit, you know? And you don't want to do that. And you don't want to, and men, you don't want to be the catalyst for that. So, yeah, get your shit together, man. And ladies, y'all too.
Listen, I will say that this man has definitely got his shit together. I don't have any of the same issues I had with him before. He's not miserable. He uplifts me. He holds me up. He's always speaking life into me. He's refilling my love cup as much as he can. So he did not come out the box this way, but he's put in a lot of work. I added some eggs, threw some eggs at him, and put them in the batter. Threw some oil and butter in there. We rubbed the sides down. At me? Had to throw them eggs right at his ass.
You crazy.
So no, he did not come out the box this way, but he's been worth all of the work. And I mean, I'm not saying I was perfect either. So I know that we both had to put in work, and I've grown up and become more of what he's needed me to be as well. So it's definitely was both of us having to figure that part out. But you know, I wish I had spoke up sooner, and I wish I had demanded more sooner, but I didn't know. And now I know, and I demand what I need, and I get what I need.
There you go. There you go right there. When you know the responsibility is on you to make it happen, for sure.
And if he loves you, he's going to do his best to try to meet you. He might not always understand it at first, and he might not really know what to do. And so you might have to help him love you how you need him to love you, because they don't know how to do it sometimes. And especially if they're not that experienced with having relationships. And you're saying, I need you to love me this way. And he just loved the way he knew how to love. So I had to show him, like, no, this is how I need you to do it for me. And that was partly part of the process too. So while you're putting up those boundaries, being open and willing enough to help teach him what you need, but not in a way that's making him feel demasculated. Emasculated.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, and it's not just incarcerated individuals. Ladies, you got to do that with anybody on the street. You have to teach people how to love you, because people grow up a certain way, and this is what they know, and they're not just going to naturally gravitate towards the way you need to be loved because that's what you want. You have to show them, tell them, and reciprocate regurgitate what it is that you're telling them through action. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, with Candace is, I learned that she's a nurturer. And I'm not trying to make an excuse and say, you're so good at nurture, I'll never be that good, so I don't even try. I just know that I'm at a deficit when it comes to being able to nurture like you nurture me. I keep saying that makes sense. You're just good at it. It comes naturally. You think about stuff that I be like, where the f did you come up with that to do that for somebody? You do that all the time. I could sit in a room for 30 days by myself and not come up with the shit you come up with. I'd be like, how do you do that? And then what makes me mad is that you make it so simplistic, because I'll say something to come and I'll be like, ooh, where'd you get that from? I'm thinking like you got this from like Europe or something like that, or something like that. You'd be like, Amazon? I'd be like...
No, because he's still getting used to the fact that Amazon has everything and it can be there today. That just blows his mind still. So when I'll get something that to me doesn't seem that fancy, because I got it off Amazon, but for him, from when he is using it based on like back in the day, you would have had to get a catalog, order it from the catalog,
8 to 10 weeks.
And now he told me last night he'll mention something and it'll be there by 4 a.m. the next morning. Like it blows him.
Yeah, that
so
just happened with the massager.
I'm just like, he thinks I'm this miracle worker, and then I do all of these great things. I wish I could take all the credit for that, but that's that Elon Musk guy.
Or
who is he? The Amazon guy?
No,
he's the Tesla
the other
guy.
dude.
What's his name? Rich. He's rich.
Bezos.
Yeah, Jeff Bezos.
So, I'm used to, like, I have to go into a store and try on clothes to shop. Still. I like to go into a store and get my groceries. I don't want to order them on.
I didn't know people were still grocery shopping.
Telling you.
Since the pandemic, me and Instacart,
No,
I don't go to the grocery store unless it is absolute emergency. And every time I'm shocked at how many people be in the grocery store.
Yeah, that ain't crazy.
What you mean? To me, that's crazy to go. Why would you go with all these crazy people out there?
Picking your own produce and stuff like that. Picking your own food. I just will never get used to it. I'm not saying it's not convenient.
But do you realize how much time I save by not going to the grocery store all the time? And when Babe first came home, he was eating like he had just came home. So we were spending almost $1,000 a month on groceries. I mean, it was getting ridiculous because we were buying everything. So yeah, I couldn't have done that. And he'd be like, "Oh, I want to try this. I want to try that." And I think that's part of the way I take care of him is he tells me something and it just appears in front of him, or he don't have to say like, "I'm running out of deodorant." There's always deodorant in the cabinet. If there's always something, all of his stuff is just. He don't have to say, "Oh, I need that." It's just there. Mm-hmm. So I think sometimes that. He thinks that I'm just so magical, but it's like, no, I'm just taking care of my household.
That's crazy. It's just crazy to me. I know y'all don't get it, and it's hard. I can't put it into words, but
it's called being a wife. I think all wives get it. I'm pretty sure every wife gets it.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe you're right, because I just don't. I be like, and then when you do say something, I be like, having to jump through 17 hoops to get it done, where you, it seems like, will just do it through one hoop. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
But here's the difference. While, like, I had to constantly hoop, you didn't have to hoop. You had one thing you had to focus on. Mm-hmm. Out here, before you came home, that was all I did was like, how do I rob Peter to pay Paul? And then get him over here to get him to do that, and then do him over. Like, I had to know all the things because it's
your experience.
That's just what I had to do.
Yeah.
So I figured out the shortcuts. I figured out this is what you do to get this. Like, here's the thing. I never considered myself a hustler because I never was like in the streets hustling. But I am a damn hustler. Yeah. I hustle. Like, I know how to do so many things, and it's all about making sure that me and mine are good.
You didn't know he was a hustler?
I never put that title on it because I just didn't. I thought hustling always had to do with street shit.
You should have just asked a hustler. I'd have told you. You a goddamn hustler.
I should have known I was walking right into
You wasn't walking into nothing. You think I'm joking. I'm dead serious. Like, you should have just asked the motherfucker. I'd have told you, like, you the best hustler there is.
Yeah, but I also thought hustling was attached to having funds with it. Like, having the money that goes with it. And I don't always have...
No, that doesn't mean that. It's like hustling is derived from survival. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
And I know how to do that.
Yeah, that's all it is. It's surviving. It's figuring out how to, being a jack of all trades. And some people are jack of all trades and they ain't ace of none. Like, they don't do one thing good. They just do a whole bunch of things well, and they're able to. But you see how many people can't do that. There's a lot of people that can't do a lot of things.
No, but see, I feel like I'm a jack of all trades and not an ace of one. I think I do a lot of things.
Yeah, that's what I said. You're a jack of all trades.
But an ace of none.
No, I'm not saying you're not an ace of none. I'm just saying some people are a jack of all trades and an ace of none, which means they don't do one thing very good at all, but they can do a bunch of things well.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I think that fits me. I think I do a bunch of things well, but I don't do any one thing amazing.
No. One thing.
Okay. What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you?
You don't even want me to.
You don't
want me to go
today.
into detail.
I don't. Put your hand down.
You don't want me to go into detail because I will go into detail. I don't
know what is going on with this man. I see what's.
No, but I mean, honestly, I can't say that, babe. I mean, you cook very well.
Yeah,
you
well.
Love very well. I'm talking
not...
about ace of spade well. You love excellently. The thing is, not only do I have everything I want all the time, this dude Munchie. Oh my God.
This dude Munchie.
This the way you raise him. Like, you didn't raise the rock before? Because you sure look like it.
That's my boy.
I think that you are excellent in engaging with the family that I have, that I communicate with. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times you be like, I've been talking to them a lot lately. I've been talking to them more than you.
Mm-hmm.
But you understand, like, I know you've been around Yaz for a while, talking to her, but like my family don't do the outside shit. And both T and Monty Rita be like calling you and all that. Like, they don't.
I know.
I'm telling you, it's something about you.
Oh, well, that's nice.
You know what I'm saying? It's not necessarily them, because that's not what they do.
Well, also, I love that they call me and that they feel comfortable calling me.
Yeah, me too.
But I also think it's because you don't answer your phone.
I do, but they ain't calling me. They're not calling me.
Probably because they know you don't answer your phone.
How do they know that? I have not missed a call from either one of them. That's what I'm saying. They would not know I don't answer my phone. They know that.
Sure, I bet they would both tell you that you have missed calls and not returned messages.
No, I answer the phone.
Okay.
If they feel like I don't answer the phone because you told them that.
No.
Yeah, because you lead with that sometimes. You be like, he don't answer his phone. But I have not missed a call from either one of them.
They all have said, yeah, because I'll try to call, he don't return messages, and I'll say, yeah, no, he ain't gonna return messages. When I say that, it's because someone else has already told me that. They just said it, and I'm like, don't feel bad. He does that to everybody.
Yeah. Oh, the message. You didn't say message though. Messages, messages. Yeah, you're right. I got time.
The crazy part is you rather talk on the phone than text. I rather text because I feel I can do more things when I'm texting.
Well, it's just that I know I think sometimes when I'm texting, because if I give like a short response, I'll come across like
rude.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So I have to, get detail, add context to the conversation. I don't be having time. Time? So I'd be like, yeah, okay, I'll get back to you on that. And the thing is, it's another thing. If you text me, if you send me a video or something, I'll watch it, but that don't mean you're going to get a response about it. It's like, I see it. Okay, that's cool.
But the whole point is that they want the response. That's why they sent the video.
They could send it to somebody else.
So y'all hear that? Save your videos. He ain't watching them.
No, you can. If you want me to see it, I'll see it. But I'm saying, if you look for a response to a video, it's like all the time. It's like, you're doing something.
Just say. No, don't say that to Yaz because she be mad when I send her up.
I don't do.
Like, girl, not everything's a heart.
Yeah, I don't do those pictures and stuff like that.
Pictures. It's emoji.
Oh. I just do words.
Okay, we're rambling. This is getting way too ridiculous.
She had 45 minutes.
We have probably 8 minutes of chatter. All right, y'all. Thanks for another episode. Thanks for joining us. Make sure you come back next week. Same time, same place. Stay beautiful, stay black, stay blessed. And we will see you guys on the next one.
Appreciate y'all being here.
All right, guys. Bye.